Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. I am your host, Jan Washington. This is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. I would like to extend my gratitude in you listening to this podcast. It means everything to me, and I hope it is clear that this subject matter is so important to me. I care about our people, our future, and making a positive change in this nation. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast. Today I want to talk about a story out of Rutherford County in Tennessee. You may have heard about this juvenile judge. You may have heard about this judge in Tennessee, in Rutherford County, that had been jailing a large number of black children for crimes that do not exist. And so I saw that and I was just really alarmed. And so I looked into it further and I wanted to talk about that with you guys and let you know the details. And so what happened is that an investigation by the Nashville Public Radio and ProPublica uncovered an alarming pattern of arresting and detaining elementary children in Rutherford County in Tennessee, children as young as 7 years old. Some were arrested for playground fights or cursing, and a disproportionate number of the children arrested were black. And so they were sent to jail. And they were sent to jail for some periods of 10 days or longer. And some of them were sent to jail for not being in the fight, but witnessing the fight. Okay. The judge behind this matter was Judge Donna Davenport. Okay. Now, Judge Donna Davenport maintains her position as the Rutherford County Juvenile Court Judge. She orchestrated a system to arrest and jail children, many whom were black and some were as young as 7. And according to the reports in this investigation, she created a process that involving arresting the children, taking them into custody at a detention center, and then filing charges against them. This differed from the normal practice in Tennessee, where police would typically serve court summonses to the children and their parents instead of arresting the children and taking them into custody, the investigation found. Now, Davenport declined an interview with ProPublica when they reached out to her, but they discovered back in 2016, 11 black children were arrested and 10 were charged with criminal responsibility for conduct of another. So that conduct of another, they alleged that they failed to stop a fight that was captured on video. So that was just witnessing another group of kids being in the fight. The attorney who represented some of the children said criminal responsibility for conduct of another is not a charge under Tennessee law. So this is one of the laws that did not exist that we're talking about. So she had charges on here that were not actual charges. And so that being applied as a charge in of itself is unlawful. And that's according to the attorney. So it's really shocking that she is still in place as a judge. She's still sitting as a judge at this moment. Davenport's process was challenged in a class action lawsuit involved over 1,000 children that alleged Rutherford County violated children's rights by arresting and detaining them without sufficient cause. A judge involved in the case said that the children in Rutherford County are suffering irreparable harm every day from a policy that departs drastically from the norm. The case was settled in June of this year, and the ruling permanently halted the juvenile court's use of Davenport's policy. Rutherford County agreed to pay up to $11 million, including $7.75 million to the children who were arrested and detained. So there was a large settlement issue to the children involved in that 2016, but just think of the other effects to the children, their mental health and their emotional psyche. I can't imagine with a small child going through such that. It certainly would have lasting effects, I would imagine. Now, this report from Yahoo about the Tennessee judge states that as of October 12th, Davenport is no longer teaching at Middle Tennessee State University, where she was a adjunct professor, but she still is, a judge. This information is very shocking. I was listening to a report discussing this matter from D.L. Hughley, and he compared it to Jim Crow, creating laws and creating charges that did not exist. These are things that happened in the 60s and 50s when the Jim Crow laws were allowed. They could just make up a law and put it on a black person, and it was upheld. And this is exactly what happened to these children in 2016. They made up a law and it was upheld. And, now, years later, the issue is being raised and a settlement is being issued. But, why wasn't it caught earlier? You just wonder, how could it have went on this long? Now, about that lawsuit settlement, here's some information about that. So, as a part of the settlement, Rutherford County denies any wrongdoing, and each child who was improperly detained got $5,000, and each child who was improperly arrested got $1,000. And that's a part of the $11 million. Interesting. And it just, it just makes you think of blood money, blood money. And then they always want to put that no wrongdoing in there because you're taking the money so that you can't talk about it. Well, it seems like the next step in this matter should be her being fired and perhaps a lawsuit or some sort of charge against her, especially if these types of things that she placed on the children were unlawful. It seems like she should face some sort of charge. So we will definitely stay informed with this matter. There should definitely be more to this matter, Judge Donna Scott Davenport is concerned. So, yep, we will keep you informed of that. And I thank you guys for listening. Stay encouraged.